Man, we had to jam out a little bit to that music, man.
Yeah.
What's good, family? What is good?
What's
it's
going
another
on?
Incubators Couch.
Are you excited? I know we're excited.
And I'm like legit
We're
excited. Like we settled in now. This episode 6?
Yes.
Episode 6. Like
so
we not new to this.
Now.
We true to this. Like, fam, we in here now. Come on. Let me know in the comments right now if you were at episode 1. Okay, let me know in the comments right now. Put a 1 if you were at episode 1. Here's another thing, another badge of honor. How many of you attended the promo week?
I know.
Yo,
the promo week, it seemed like
week.
it was so long ago, but wow.
Man, that joint was
yeah,
good.
it was good. We had a lot of good topics that we talked about.
Yeah,
it was fire.
Yo, I think our shirts are actually kind of matching.
We got some red in there. You know, what you know about it?
We didn't even try this. Listen, the joint is just coming together. Everything just gelling, you know.
Shout out to my girl Valencia, Hairbows, who knows, for the shirt.
This is my guy, James Hicks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Hicks
yeah.
New Media.
So, you know, we shouting y'all out. Small business owners. Yes.
We got to give people their credit. Incubators in the space.
Yeah.
Listen, man, we're going to dive in today. At just like last week, we're not going to keep you for the full hour. But we're excited about what we have on the table. What we have on the table. Who we have in the couch today. And we're going to get into it after the host rant and our resource of the week. Let's go.
Back. We're back. We're back. We're back.
See, this music doesn't go away.
You have to shut it up.
I know. I'm going to. Yo. Let me say this. This is host rant, as you can see from the little bumper video. So, you know, the host rant, it gets a little dicey.
Keep the blood pressure down a little bit.
Listen, I will tell you this, man. Everybody's process is different in order to onboard a new client.
Yes.
Everybody's process is different. Like, I can't tell you how many times somebody will see us like on a random, like, yo, I've been meaning to hit you up. I need a site. How much do you do for a site? And I'm like,
breaks.
There's a process.
Let's go through the process.
Yo, send me. Because, like, that's what happens.
Yeah. Or you get a random text like, I need to get a website out. Let me get some information real quick.
I'm trying to,
like,
I got an idea for a podcast. Yo, can you produce it for me? I'm like, how much you produce a podcast? I'm like, can you send me a proposal? Can you send me a proposal? Like that phrase, there's different iterations of it.
Yeah,
can you send me a quote? Give me an estimate. How much is it going to cost for? Send me a proposal kind of encompasses all of those phrases and terms.
Yeah, it does.
And that is the line that we're going to hone in on today for our host rant, even as our dishwasher.
It's making a bunch of noise in the background.
But no, we're going to hone in on that mug because, as I mentioned, everybody's process is different for how they onboard a new client. And sometimes onboarding a new client, well, not sometimes, what incubators and small businesses know is that the onboarding process starts from before you actually get the business.
Yes.
I actually have to create you in my system in order to give you a quote. I've got to create your business name, your email address, phone number, all that information. I need that in my system in order to generate a quote. So it's my opinion, it's a part of the onboarding process. So when I pass somebody on this, like literally at the stoplight, window rolls down, hey, let me get a quote.
Hold up.
let me get back to you. So
I think the point we're really getting at is it's not like you've got a proposal.
No.
It is a process and it takes time. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, they don't realize just how much time it takes to get a proposal.
And they mean well.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm not by no means are we saying, man, I'm tired of folks just running up on me and asking for a quote.
We're not saying
That's not what it is. It's a matter of, I hope you understand that number one, it's going to take a while to get you the quote. Number two, this is work for us.
Yes,
that
to
we're
get you that
doing
proposal.
to get you the proposal. And here's the crux, number 3. I hope you're serious.
For real.
Cause that's what the process, like that random like drive by, like, yo, let me get a quote. That's what that side eye is for. Cause I'm like, I know what I have to do to get a quote out to you. I'm certain you don't, but all of that is irrelevant. Are you serious?
Are you serious? Like, we are going to put time into getting this thing done. It's not like we're just like, forward this is the same quote we give out to everybody else. No, that's not it at all.
No.
We take the time to research, put together that quote for you, and then we then send it to you. So it's a whole process. It's a deal for us to get that out to you. So if you are not ready, please do not waste our time.
That's the major issue. And I'm saying this for us in our context, you know, remote production, web design. But I know this to be a fact. Like we had somebody give us a quote for a cake. We had somebody give us a quote for painting the island in our kitchen.
Yes.
We had somebody give us a quote for putting in electrical smart outlets and smart switches in our house. That process, we know, because the guy's like, I can't just quote that. I got to come over. How many of them are you talking about?
Yes.
How far are they from other outlets?
Yeah.
Like
it takes
a lot. Some time for him to be able to say, okay, I'm going to need this amount of equipment, or I should say, parts and whatever. And then I'm also going to need this amount of time to put it. I recognize that.
Yes,
so
we do.
Generally speaking, when we are looking at quotes, it's because we've already decided that we're doing this
for real.
Yeah. When we were deciding to extend the fence on the side of the house, we called 5-6 people, and they were like, how soon? We're ready now.
Pretty much. Like when we are ready, we ready to get it done. We're not out here just getting random quotes just because. We get the quotes because we are ready to move forward. So we're hoping that people have like the same mindset when they're coming to us for business or to you guys for business. Like, you need to be ready.
Yo, and let me, we're going back to, Carfax or client facts again, but this is a major clincher. If you have asked someone for a quote before and done nothing with that quote, and you find yourself asking them for the quote again, and it's taking a little longer for you to get that quote, I am telling you, it's because you did nothing with the previous quote.
Yes.
And I'm going to hasten to add, we have a client. He's also a mentor of ours. He goes by 2 letters. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The Don. And he when he asks for a quote, this is what I do.
Immediately. Immediately.
Here's your quote. Why? Because past experience.
Yep.
Past experience, your boy has come through clutch. So
we know.
Oh, so you know when somebody's like, yo, I got this, this. Can you send me a quote? Oh, bet. Let me get you some numbers.
Immediately.
Let me get you those immediately, because you recognize that that's a person who, like we just said, they're actually ready to buy.
Yep.
And one of the things that is a quick takeaway for all of us as incubators, all of us as businesses and owners to think about is, what are some weed out questions that you can ask to help identify what category this potential client is in before you expend that work? I don't know what those weed out questions are.
Yeah, and I can say for us, what we do, we have a discovery call before we send out the proposal. Like, I am not wasting my time. If you are not ready, I'm not sending you a quote, a proposal.
Discovery call helps me to, like, when I send out a quote after I've done a discovery call, I've got dates on there. I've got your title, you know what I'm saying? I have information because we've already met, and I get a picture and a vision of what the finish line looks like. Oh, that's a whole word for somebody out there. You got to know what the finish line looks like. Because if I need to have a picture in my mind of what the finish line looks like, because I need to know if I can take them there. Because sometimes I look at that finish line like, Doc, I think you need to go with somebody else. Yeah. Listen, we're not going to stay here, but I'm just like, no, the quote, the proposal process, discovery call, understand the vision, package selection, a la carte items.
Yes.
I'm pausing. Outline project deliverables, outline project deadlines. And then finally, when does the quote expire? All of those pieces are what makes up the quote, are what make up that process. And so when somebody says, hey, can you send me a proposal? Just think about all that stuff that I just named off and say to yourself, am I really
Am I ready? Are you ready?
We're not talking about ordering like the number one from McDonald's, y'all. Like you're going to a business, they're gonna have to actually get you a quote. Now, some people have their packages and stuff like, boom, oh, that's gonna cost this. That's great, but I can almost guarantee you that when they get into the whatever you call a discovery call, you're gonna start augmenting and adjusting that quote. And I don't like doing that.
No,
I don't like hitting people with one price, and then when we start talking about what they really want to do, then I hit them with a different price. So all of those pieces together, that kind of makes up our host rant tonight.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What we got a resource, don't we?
Yes, we do actually. So we are going to go into the resource, but if you can share some information about how you do your process, your proposal process, share that in the comments too. Let us look at those and share it with other people that are watching.
Absolutely. Let's get into this resource.
Ready for the resource.
Now, I will say we're not looking to split the atom. We're not looking to recreate the wheel on this one. Nope. Some of our more technical people out there already know about the resource that's on the screen, but maybe you would be surprised, maybe you wouldn't, of how many people are unaware of this particular platform.
And we bring it up because I do have some clients where I have a form that people submit when they're submitting their items to me. Yeah. And y'all, I put a limit on that joint.
Yeah, you have to.
Because people be wilding, sending me like 20 meg files. I'm like, no. We're going to use this form for smaller files. But in the case that they do have larger files, I send them to WeTransfer because it's just easier. WeTransfer is free.
WeTransfer is free.
And
up to a certain amount.
Up to a certain amount. And it sends up to, I don't remember how much, like, is it a couple hundred? No,
it's like two gigs maybe.
Yeah,
gigs
it's a lot that it can send. So
yeah, especially for individual files. Unless we're talking about like a major video project, I've not found anything that I couldn't do with WeTransfer. And you just literally, you can see it on the screen. You put your email address, you put the recipient's email address, you could put a little message if you want to.
That's true. And what's really cool that I just discovered, instead of them having to put in your email address, it can generate a link and they can just send you that link to their files.
That's a big change.
That's pretty cool.
Because we've been using WeTransfer for a long time. Wow. That was not there before. In fact, I'm learning this right here now, live with you guys. I did not know that.
You don't need an email address. They can just send you the link.
I'm going to start using WeTransfer even more now. But I mean, listen, if you have a large file, to be clear, this is even for business, outside of business. Yep. You got large files that you want to send. Maybe you've done a photo shoot. You don't want to degrade the quality. You want to send that link to somebody, or you want to send it to your mom. You want to send it to a friend, and you want them to get the highest quality possible. Just send it with WeTransfer. Yeah. And the fact that they have the link now, it's perfect. It's absolute clutch.
It's perfect.
Keep in mind though that there is a expiration. So your files are not there indefinitely. So some people are like, oh, let me go back to WeTransfer and find my files. No. It's not a storage location. It's a transfer utility, right?
Exactly.
So wanted to keep that clear as well. WeTransfer, really dope platform. It's another one of those examples like our resource of the week last week where somebody just found a gap and they filled it. Yeah. And we all use it now. And there's like, everybody is advertising on this page because they take the Google model, right? It's just like this one little thing on the side that's functional, but the whole rest of it is all advertisement. So I think it's so cool what they've done there. But yeah, WeTransfer, check it out. Let us know in the comments some of your resources that you use heavily. Yeah. And we are excited to get into our Incubator Spotlight. Let's go.
Yep.
Man, what a video, what a experience. Listen, I hope you guys could see the handle on the screen right underneath our guest. We're super excited to have storyteller. Oh, my bad. Danita with
storyteller.
That's a whole different story, whole different show.
Yeah.
But we're excited to have Danita with. Like, this is my sister from another mister.
Yes.
This is fam. We got fam in the house today, right? Some of the other folks came through. They're like, oh, this is a nice house.
I've been here.
Yeah, she's been here.
She's been
off,
here.
eating.
We didn't even offer her no water. Like, you know where to get it. Go ahead and get it. Go ahead.
It's in the fridge.
But no, Danita, take a second. We're just gonna take a quick second because we need to get right to the tea. But we'll take a second and just share with folks about You Know I'm Right, I Heart Smart Art, and Productions by Danita Jones. You know, it's all there.
Yes.
It's all there.
So Productions by Danita Jones is really what started the whole kit and caboodle. I started it in 2003. Wow. Isn't that nuts? And it literally started because I was legitimately angry about the lack of good art that I was seeing. And so when it came to theater, like you would go to these theater shows and people, no shade on people. Okay?
But a little bit of shade.
A little bit of shade on people.
Yes.
They would wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to write a play. And then they would write it and they would get it produced and they would get money on it. And then you would go see it and the play is like trash.
Oh, goodness.
And it would make me angry because that was the model that people started to like build their theater houses off of. It's just like, no learning, because you don't have to go to school for it.
No, you don't.
But find a way to be educated.
At least, right.
But I tell people all the time, like, you wouldn't go to a heart surgeon that woke up one morning and was just like, I think I'm gonna do heart surgery today.
No, you would not.
And I feel like sometimes all the time, the arts is equally as important.
Wow.
Like, you need to be educated in it, go to school for it, figure out a way to become equally as trained so that we're all maintaining the same kind of quality surgery. And so I started Productions by Danita Jones because I wanted like industry standard art that also told stories of people of color, mainly African American people, because you don't see us. We're either maids or we are struggling.
The struggle.
Right? That's the story. Or, we're snot nosing on the stage or whatever. And I just wanted to tell stories about, we can be in love and we can have regular fights. I call it the, for lack of a better example, I call it the Huxtable treatment.
Come on.
When you take the socioeconomic piece out, then we can have regular people problems.
Yes.
And so that's how Productions by Danita Jones started. So that went on for a little while. And then my first love, which a lot of people don't know, is writing. I love to write. And because I was producing my own shows, because I was having to write my own shows, I started to kind of like ghostwrite for other people. And then one day my sister was just like, you need to like start a blog or something because you have all these incredible ideas that nobody ever hears. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do that. And so I started this blog called YouKnowI'mRight.com. And
I love
the right. You know I'm right.
You know I'm right. Yeah.
And after that, it kind of ballooned into like this thing where people were like contacting me like, hey, can you write this for me? Or do you mind writing this for me? And then one day I said something to a friend of mine where they had written their bio out. And I was like, this is garbage. Can I fix your bio? And they were like, yeah, sure. And so I fixed their bio. I'm like, this is incredible. You should charge people for this. And I was like,
huge side note. She did my bio. So if you've ever read my bio, she did it. And it is phenomenal. It needed some work.
I tell people, it's like, we are horrible at bragging on ourselves.
Yes, that's true.
So let somebody else brag on you that knows how to write.
I love that.
You Know I'm Right, which is underneath Productions by Danita Jones, but where the I Heart Smart Art comes from, because that's also the website, is that I like artistic presentations that you can be entertained and think.
Okay.
Yes. And so that's where the I Heart Smart Art comes from.
Think.
Yes.
I love that.
Listen, that is all of the kit and caboodle.
We love it, man. And you did it in just 2-3 minutes.
I know.
We love that. All of that. So no, that's good.
Good.
So we're doing well, and we're going to dive right in. Listen, fam, drop something in the chat right now. If you heart smart art, put that in the chat. Let us know. If you're interested in content that not only entertains but makes you think. Put that in the chat right now. We want to make sure we engage with you. Hey, and don't do it right this second, but make sure you go and follow that handle on Instagram. Follow that handle on Instagram so that you can be informed and you can stay on top of some of the things that she's got coming up next. Listen, Now we want to get into your story. So we're gonna, we're gonna settle in on the couch.
We're sitting on
settle in on the couch.
The way my story goes, I need to lay down on the couch.
we got our pen and paper.
Get like a license.
I'm gonna pull my glasses down a little bit. Let's hear what you.
Tell us how you feel about your mother.
How did that feel? How did that make you feel?
Right.
All right.
So the unfortunate thing I learned right away is that my love for wanting to create art superseded my ability to charge people for it.
Oh.
This sounds like a reoccurring theme because we just had someone that we just spoke to who said something very similar. He loves what he does, and he's like, I couldn't charge, but he realized I need to be charged.
Yeah, because what the fear is that you love it so much and it gets you up in the morning, and that's how you know it's not about money. That if you charge too much, people won't ask you to do it. And so then you're just like, well, let me not charge because I want to do it. I had the desire to do it. And so, when you're doing a production, because that's where it started, was the plays. Right. Creating a production from like paper to stage, under the gun, I can do it in 12 weeks. Wow. Don't recommend it. Right? 0 out of 10 stars. But if I'm under pressure, I can do it in about 12 weeks. But usually it would take me about 6 months total.
Okay.
Rehearsals, writing, the whole 9 yards.
Casting,
people are showing up every day. We're there till late at night or whatever. And the applause, which I believe is a type of creative drug.
It is. Yeah.
You get very high off of it. It's addictive. And so you seek it out all the time. And so when that applause comes, you are just like high from it. You're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was looking for. And then people come up to you at the end of the show and they're just like, this was incredible. And sis, if you ever need any help, just let me know. I mean, because we need to get this to Atlanta. We need to get this to New York. I mean, they're saying all the great things, right? And
all
so
the buzzwords. All the buzzwords.
Getting home and then checking my phone and my account is overdrawn because
real talk. I mean, that's it right there, right?
Because I didn't charge any money. I was funding my own productions because even the houses that and when I say houses, I mean like the buildings that we were doing them in, they're charging me to be there and they're not offering anything. No, they're not. And so, and the actors or the performers I would have out of the goodness of their heart would just be in it because they loved it equally as well. And that just kept happening and I kept doing, and I had several different, we'll call them clients.
Okay.
Where I was doing stuff for free constantly. And it wasn't until, now mind you, I started the company in 2003. It was not until 2010.
Oh, wow.
That I was, I had been negotiating with, I was living in Columbus, Ohio. Full 7 years.
Oh my goodness.
And you would think I would learn something in that 7 years. Didn't. Okay.
My gosh.
At that 7 year mark, my parents who were at First Seventh-day Adventist Church in Huntsville, Alabama, I was living in Columbus. They were like, Danita, we want you to do a Christmas play for First Church. And I was like, I can do that, and my parents, of course, were just like, we're going to pay you to do this because, but in your head, you're like, that's mom and dad. They love me. They think everything that I do is great. And so the deal was that I would start flying down to Huntsville to use the church's cast and crew. And so that they could invest in their own show. And so the show itself, I'll never forget, it was called And the Angels Sing. And it was something that I had written. And it had upwards of I think maybe 150 some odd people in it because we had 5 choirs and a cast of 20 people. Wow. This thing was huge. This was at their old church on Stringfield Road. And every 3 or 4 weeks, I would fly down. They'd pick me from the airport in Nashville, and I would drive down to Huntsville. They were that invested. So my parents were spending money to, even in that. And then on top of that, they were giving me the check. Now, granted, where are we going to stay? Mom and Dad's house. So about 2 weeks before the show, I flew in for the 2 final weeks, and they were going to allow me to decorate the sanctuary. And so the worst thing you can give a creative is anything to mount decorations with. And so somebody handed me a nail gun, y'all. And they were just like, put whatever you need up. And right around that time, there was a rumor going around that First Church was about to change buildings. So I was just like, well, they're not going to care if I put holes in the wall. So I take this nail gun and I am standing at the top of this ladder and I am just like, just nail gunning garter into this wall. And all of a sudden, I hear a throat clear behind me. And I hear, Sister Jones, can I speak with you for a moment? And I look down, and it's this young pastor named Deblier Snell.
Oh.
That is how we met.
Really?
Me nail gunning Garland into the side of his sanctuary wall. He was like, can I see you in my office for a minute? And I was like, well, this is it.
Yeah. Now I'm done.
That whole check I'm gonna have to do for repairs because I'm getting called to the principal's office. So he pulls, we go into his office and I sit down and I'm preparing for, I would appreciate if you wouldn't. I don't even know who you are. Like, we haven't been properly introduced.
What the heck?
What is going on?
Yeah.
And ultimately, he said to me, you write plays. And I was like, yes, I do. What I didn't know is that he had been watching rehearsals for the past four months. And so he was like, if I wanted to do a play for my family life week and I wanted you to close it out, would you be willing to do that show for me? And I was like, sure. Yeah. Because Danita loves to do art. Right. You want me to do a play?
Let's go.
Right. And so I was like, oh, absolutely. And in my head, I start doing this Rolodex of what plays do I already have? The whole 9 yards. And so I start naming the show types that I have. And he was like, no. He said, I want you to write a show. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so he starts describing the elements in the show that he wants. He wants a newlywed couple. He wants an older wed couple. He wants a divorcee. He wants, parents and kids and grandparents all together. And as he's talking, and this is how I always know that I'm supposed to be doing something, is that I can actually start formulating it. It just starts out in my head. Like I can see the pictures.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely, I can do it. I was like, when do you need it? So the first thing he said was, I want it, this is 2010. He said, I'd like it in September of 2011. And I was like,
September of 2011.
Yes. Okay. We were having the conversation in November of 2010.
Good. Where are them clients at? I need those clients. Where them clients
and I was like, okay. He said, okay. And then he said, so that sounds doable? I said, yes, sir. Yeah. And the second thing he said was, how much is this going to cost me?
Oh, look at that.
Thank God. I'm willing to put this on camera. To date, Deblier Snell is my best client.
Wow.
That's to date.
Wow.
And because right after that, when we had that discussion, he was just like, okay, now the next thing I need you to do is just give me a contract so that we can make sure that First Church and this, that, and the other. And we negotiated through a contract. Wow. And this was at a time, when you think about 2010, he had just gotten to First Church, but in the SDA faith, art, number one, was at the time that was not a thing. And then you're going to want to pay me for the art that's not a thing.
Crazy.
And then you're wanting to put on the contract.
That's big.
Like, where, so I walk out of that meeting like ready to run through brick walls. Yeah. And it was, from start to finish, it was one of the best processes I think I've ever been through. Now oddly enough, the side story is that, I end up getting pregnant with twins and deliver the day before the show.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
a different.
That's a whole different incubator
different
couch. That's a whole different couch.
That's a different couch. But even then, First Church and Pastor Snell took care of us. I remember thinking right up, to that day, I was like, I'd walk on water for this dude, mainly because he was just like, what do I need to do in order to make sure that you perform at your best?
That's awesome.
And that is kind of like that is when I learned that was possible. The issue was that after that incredible experience, now I know I'm worth something.
Yeah.
Because the guy that doesn't know who I am
was
willing to go on contract to pay.
He saw the value.
So the Business of Being Family, that particular play, it takes 19 cast members, an entire set, the whole 9 yards. So I go back home at the time to Columbus, where another client wants the same show because they heard it went so well. And because First Church did the advertising for us. We ended up having to do 2 shows in one night because they gave away free tickets. So both sets of tickets were given out. So we had 750 people at the first show.
Wow.
They had to clear the whole sanctuary, and they had 750 in the second show. Wow. And what was hilarious is that at one point people were like scalping tickets outside at a church on church ground because nobody could get tickets to get in the show. That's how amazing it was. So I'm leaving like, this is incredible. Oh my gosh, this is an experience. Columbus, Ohio is just like, we want the same show because we heard how amazing it is. And so I pushed a piece of paper across the table to this entity I'd been doing stuff for free for so long. I was like, this is how much this show is going to cost you because this is different. And the absolute mud dragging that they took my name through, like, where are these hidden costs coming from? And this contract shouldn't be valid. Right. Because they were just because I told them, I was like, if you want us to do this show, you have to provide. There are 19 cast members. Yes. They all need to be mic'd. And I need a set. And the cast came from all over the country. Yeah. So I was like, they need a place to stay. Like First Church, they put everybody in a hotel. Yeah. You know, in a nice hotel. So they fed them after the show and between shows. And so I'm just literally presenting what we had already. Crazy. And they were just like, absolutely not. How? And it was literally a how dare you.
See, this is the thing that's mind-boggling for me. In Incubators, you can let sound off in the comments because we need to commiserate here a little bit. I just never understand why clients just can't say thank you so much for your quote.
We can't do it at this time.
We won't be able to get.
I would love that.
I don't know why. Why does there have to be a disparaging? This shouldn't the other interview we had. The person was like, it shouldn't cost any more than $20 an hour, and the lady's like,
where?
$20
where do they do that at? Yeah.
No, I've never understood that component. Why clients feel like and listen, and they want you.
They do.
They want no one else but you. But they feel like you should not charge what you're worth.
It was such an eye opener because up until this point, I was the best thing that had happened to the clients in Columbus. And all of a sudden I'm just like, okay, yes, you've gotten all these plays for free. And even the show that I initially went down to Huntsville with, they had gotten for free, which was And the Angels Sing. And it was equally as large. And I've got costumers and makeup. So they're getting Broadway worthy productions. This isn't like your average church play. No. They're getting, I'm doing choreography for the dance troupe that I have. It is a full blown production. And then, finally I'm just like, hey, for after 7 years,
pretty much,
I need to charge for this next one because it's different. It hits different. And it was just like, it was the how dare you. I remember being so devastated. Like it brought me to tears because I wanted to. Yeah. But I knew I wouldn't be able to pull it off. I want to do so badly.
That space, how do you navigate that? I want to do this, but you don't respect what I do.
That's the word right there, respect.
You don't respect, and so you kind of, it's a seesaw, right? It's a balancing act because I have to now respect myself and probably decline to do the thing that I love to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you don't respect my work.
And that is crazy. The problem, I don't mind telling my age. I was 30 at the time I was 31. And I remember starting to doubt my own gift because I'm just like, if I was really good at it, then you would pay for it. Yeah. What added insult to injury is that the same client because I think, I wasn't even charging, I was undercharging.
Even at the price I was undercharging.
And I mean, you know what? We're amongst safe people. This is family. Legitimately, I was charging about $8,000, which is I need for everybody to understand that doing an entire stage production, that's ridiculous. It is so underfunded at $8,000.
Yeah, true.
Literally, they were just like, this is too much, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Like, how dare you? I mean, everything. The following month, they brought a gospel music artist that I knew for a fact cost $16,000. What in the world? For one night. And we had to provide the backup singers. We provided the band. So all they were paying for was the person to come in and sing, and everybody else was doing the work. And I remember sitting through that whole concert going, you paid $16,000 for 7 songs. I asked for $8,000 for an entire play with 19 cast members, and you refused to do it. And I just felt like I was punched in the gut. Like I just felt like I was punched in the gut. So and I would love to say that after that, you guys, I realized I didn't after that. After that, I kind of turned into that whole, it was for lack of a better example, it was almost like it was a drug addiction. Like, well, can you do it for this? Well, no, I can't. But you know what? Okay. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And I spent like another 10 years.
Wow.
I'll figure it out. Well, don't worry about the price. We'll figure it out. And I kept doing that, except when First Church would ask. And every meeting, Snell was like, how much is this going to cost me?
Wow.
That is the only person that asked me that question for the following 10 years.
This is a really great. So I mean, and I know this is personal. This is, you're sharing, you know, from a vulnerable place, and we absolutely appreciate that. But I'm also trying to make sure that we pull the audience in to some regard, in terms of sometimes that is the takeaway, that, man, the clientele that you're currently marketing to don't have the capacity,
correct,
or don't even have the palate, right? They don't have the taste, the awareness that this is what this kind of a thing costs. I mean, it's that's why they react in the way that they do.
Absolutely.
And so, how do you refine? What do you refine? What do you change? What do you tweak? How do you make a change there? How do you know what I mean? So, like, if you find yourself in this situation, I get this in coaching all the time. Kirk, man, I just feel like I have the wrong clientele because nobody wants to pay my prices. And the challenge with that is they're probably correct. Nobody wants to pay your prices. Some of it is because of their past experiences with you. Not that they were bad, but they were free. But then a lot of it is you've got to almost shift your entire network.
Absolutely.
Yes, you do.
You've got to get into other
spaces.
I mean, I started to hang out with other remote producers. Of course, that's my vocation. And you start to realize, like, oh, wait, y'all are, you charge how much?
Right.
Yes.
And the person is looking, this person that's telling me they're charging an exorbitant amount. I shouldn't say exorbitant. They charge their price.
Yeah.
It's triple mine, but they charge their price. And so this person is looking at my work and they're like, you're dope. I hope my clients don't see you. I hope one of your clients at least see me because I want to charge what you charge.
Right, exactly.
But this is that tension in as an incubator, in entrepreneurship, as a business, you will find yourself at times in a space where I know I should and could be charging more, but I'm stuck in this place. And these are the times where it's sometimes good to pull back, make yourself scarce. Somebody told me this, you know, make yourself scarce. Stop giving people access to your genius. Let them remember what it was like. Let them, you know, have those experiences where they're like, oh my gosh, you remember when she did that play?
That's so true. Yeah.
And it's in that space. They still won't pay. I just want to be clear.
Right? Oh yeah, no, they
but
won't.
You mark
That's
it.
so important
no, they still won't pay.
for you to let the people watching know.
No, they still won't pay.
Because we spend so much time waiting on these epiphanies. No. I call them these financial epiphanies from these pay less clients. You know, you spend so much time waiting for them to wake up in the middle of the night one day and go, oh, you know what? That was worth $10,000.
No.
They're never gonna do that.
But what I think you got to do though with those, because they're never gonna realize that they should have. But what you do is you capitalize on their reactions, and this is where, you know, a lot of what I do comes in. You capitalize on recording them, like oh man, you remember when Danita did that?
Yes.
Oh my God, because that is what will get you into the other doors for the people who do have the pockets to be able to do the things. And it's not an exact science. It doesn't work every single time. I want to make sure that that's clear. That's true. But you have to be intentional about making that shift.
And you have to recognize when it's your fault.
This is
because and it took a couple of people who really loved me where I was still broke. And I was still like, you know, scarcely like you're transferring from your main account into your business account because you're trying to make sure that joint doesn't overdraw. And I remember I was lamenting to somebody who loves me to death. Not hashtag the boyfriend. I think it was my sister. Hashtag the boyfriend is my husband. You guys. I feel like I have to say that now.
You do.
Different show.
And finally my sister was like, but that's your fault. And I was offended. I was like, no, it's that people don't recognize my genius. She was like, no, it's the fact that you're still swimming in that pool.
Wow.
And she was right. If you're in a pool where the water is dirty and murky, but you keep swimming in it, it's not going to change. That joint needs to be emptied out and cleaned. So either you need to go to a different natatorium or you are just going to be stuck in the murkiness of where you are. And that is one of the things I realized within the last few years. I was just like, I got to change natatoriums.
Gotta change it.
You know, and they get angry when you do.
They will to an extent, but and because what we've also seen, and we've talked about this before, Danita, is that once the powers that be recognize the genius and the greatness, everybody will come heralding, I remember, we said this back then, this, that, the third.
Yeah.
And that is an unfortunate experience, but it's just a reality. I think entrepreneurs, especially creatives, have to almost develop a thick skin where that's concerned, because it will happen.
Oh yeah.
They will come and say, man, we're so proud of you, ...
We
still can't pay for you. We have no intention of no. We have no intention of honoring your value, but we're so proud of you and we claim you because you're ours.
Oh yeah.
But in business, I think that there's a differentiation I want to leave you with as we get ready to land, and that is between your food work and your hard work. Right, the work that you do to put food on the table, and then the work that you do that allows you to fill your heart. And we talked about this with previous guy as well.
Make it very clear.
Like
this is what I'm doing to get paid. This is what I'm doing because I love it. So just make it really clear.
Yeah. Give them the full. Hey, okay. You have a problem with the budget? Okay. My company has such and such amount of pro bono things that we do. We can work out something if we decide that your project meets that requirement.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't,
it's a nice way.
You have to pay the price, and that's it. But I think we kind of have to figure out a way to balance that thing, because the other clients are out there. This is what I want you. Don't leave without knowing that those other clients are out there.
Yes, they are.
And I think one of the other things I learned too, and this is actually dealing with another entrepreneur in a completely separate space. I remember my sister and I went in to hire someone to do my father's 70th birthday party, and I sat down at the table with them, and my sister was just like, "Look, here's a budget. This is what we're not going over." And so I sat down with them and I said, "This is our budget. This is what we're not going over." And the amazing woman that was running the program at the time, she was just like, "This is what I can do for that." And it was an amazing experience. But we got exactly what we were paying for. And you guys, it was incredible. But what I realized I was doing in my own company was that I'm giving you the multi-million-dollar shows for $300. And so if you come to me and it's just like, well, I only have $300, I'm going to give you an incredible $300 experience. But it's going to be a $300 experience.
Yes.
And that's what I shifted to.
It might be $100 experience.
Right,
I need to make some money.
Right.
I got to make some money on it. But
that's why I realized the issue was is the fact that I was, because you're just like, oh, well, my name is out there. I'm like, yes, my name is out there. And Danita did that. And you can tell everybody, oh, she only charged me $300. Yes, that is what $300 will get you. Now, if you want a $500 experience or $1,000, that's a completely
it's different.
Oh, sis can take care of you for that. And so that's when I realized that it was okay for me, even if I'm not going to charge as much, but to
structure your package.
To structure it so that you're not, giving your full self for the least amount just because you want to do it.
That's good, man. And that's we want to land there, but I also share, man, just there's something to be said about creating spaces where you can have your own outlet, where you're doing it for yourself. Like this is a Kirk production, a Kanique production, a Danita production. I am not looking for a client. I'm doing this just for me.
Absolutely.
And when you have those spaces, you get to have that creative outlet where you can throw your full self at it. When I was producing shows before I had my own show, I was always frustrated because nobody gave me carte blanche like I have with my own show. But then when I had my own show, people would see that and be like, Kirk, I don't even want to put any limits on you. Because I've seen what you do when you have freedom, and I want that. So there's something to be said for having your own creative spaces where you can, explore. Listen, you fail, right? Fall flat, but because it's completely yours, it doesn't matter. So, man, Danita, take one more second just to share with folks how they can find you, follow you, what do you have coming up next, and we will definitely be having you back.
Yes. So what do I have coming up next? Well, right now I am preparing for a very busy fall. Productions by Danita Jones is actually partnering with Breath of Life Ministries, and we're going to be producing shows the last Q4, as they say, for the different things that they have going on. So we have 3 shows coming up, and literally I'm doing, I think, October, November, December.
Wow.
And then there's another amazing organization that we're still, and forgive me, I don't remember their names, but we're pulling up The Color of Green again, which is the show about mental health.
Yes.
So that's happening in September. So I literally have been auditioning virtually and all of that stuff for those. So if they visit iHeart Smart Art on Instagram, they'll be able to kind of see the little things that happen. Awesome. And of course, you guys know we just wrapped Breathe.
We got a chance to see that.
Awesome. So that was awesome too as well. So we have a lot of things coming up, and in the meantime, I'm in the background still writing and doing bios for people and doing pitch decks for people. So that's a neat little thing that also kind of serves that need that scratches that itch.
It scratches that itch, man. Thank you so much for coming through today.
I'm excited.
We truly appreciate it. And listen, we're gonna have you back on the couch.
I would love to come back because I have one heck of a client Zilla story. I tell you.
Oh, I'm waiting for that one.
Yeah, you have to come back.
Fam, we'll be right back after this.
That was a lot. A lot. Danita. Oh my goodness.
Danita. Whoa, I need to curl up on the couch for that one.
For real.
Listen, you've got to know your worth.
Yes, you have to, or you will be taken advantage of, and you're going to be so upset and frustrated. Like, that thing can stifle your gift.
Yeah. Like, you want to put that thing away. Like, this, I don't want to do this no more. This is not a, one of the things I'm known for saying, that I heard it from a different perspective as we were rewatching the interview with Danita with you guys just now, is that what I'm known for saying is you cannot squeeze your value into your client's budget. And this is so absolutely true. But I heard it from a different perspective during the discussion, especially right towards the end there. There is something to be said for understanding how to give the client what they paid for. And that's on us as business owners, as entrepreneurs, because we want to stamp our name on that thing. We want to give it our all, and then we want to get upset when the person only paid. They can't afford it. Yeah, that's what she said. Like, I'm gonna give you a phenomenal $300 experience, and I'm giving actually what I've been known to do is give them the full $10,000 experience, and they're doing it pro bono, right? So there's something to be said for understanding and knowing how to scale what you do so that you don't feel left cheated.
That's the word I was
after thinking. As I would say to folks, your price should make you feel whole.
Yes, exactly.
So it doesn't matter what your competitors are charging. If you are gonna charge X amount, whether it's lower or higher, and you can feel whole by that price, then you're good to go. You're good to go. Yeah. Our number that we work towards every month is our number. That's what we know. Our house runs on that number, and we work towards that number. That number is different for somebody else.
So it depends on the person, man. You've got to know your number.
Yeah. This thing is wildly individual. But man, talk to us in the comments. Let us know some of your takeaways as well. Know your worth, man. Know your worth, and that's for everything. Ooh, that's so good.
Not just business. That's just on a personal scale. Know your worth. Value yourself.
Ooh, yeah. And being able to differentiate, who that perfect person is, who that audience is, who that target market is, who also sees your worth. I mean, we said it a few episodes ago, where it's like, man, you get those clients and they're like, wait, I thought this was just a deposit. And you're just like, oh, where can I find more of it? And the reason why they thought that was the deposit, because they're just so overly excited and appreciative of the work that you've done. And I'm telling you, there are times where I did a project for a credit union here in North Alabama, and the guy is just always raving about the work.
He is, and it's not even like huge.
It's
very straightforward.
It's such a simple show. It's a simple project that I do for him, And he's just always raving. And I'm
it.
just like, wow, if this guy
I know.
like actually checked out one of my actual shows, he would be like, whoa, what in the world is all of that? Because I just, based on what he wants, based on what he's asking for, I'm just giving him, you know, I'm making it simple.
Yeah.
But man, he's always raving, and it's like, wow. And this is a person who will tip, you know what I'm saying, who will pay double, and they just see that value. And I think finding those people is part of the entrepreneur's journey.
It is.
Yeah.
You got to find people like that.
Gotta find those people. Gotta find them. They're out there. That I can guarantee.
Yes, they are. Because we found a few. So.
Oh yeah. Listen, so we didn't mention it in today's episode, but we are still traipsing around.
Yes, we are.
The world
the globe.
with our children in tow. We are excited that this platform continues on, and we are in the comments with you, hanging out. Man, know your worth.
Yeah.
There's just so many aspects there. So many aspects, and not just in business. I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm trying my best to be good.
I know, because we're trying to wrap it up.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be landing, but I feel like, you know, the nose is tipping up a little bit.
No, it's not. It's landing. It's landing.
Okay, but listen. Make sure you join us next week. We got another.
Ooh, we got another good one. Another good one. So
another good one.
Tune in
on the couch
next Monday at 7 p.m. CST
Central Time.
We hope to see you there.
Incubators Couch is unscripted, vulnerable conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. We'll see you, family, in the next video.
one.
Later. I can't find it. Okay, later.